I remember at the time, Glenn and I would talk a lot about how we don't think you're going to make it. And I remember very distinctively this memory of me being at church, and I had to like leave the room because I was just crying, and then my youth pastor came out and he asked me what was wrong, and I had to pretty much explain to him that I'm sad that my dad will never see me drive a car. And I was 13. I was like, I don't think he's going to make it that long, / I don't even want him to make it that long because he's in so much pain all the time. And the mental fog is so heavy that it's like, it didn't even feel like my dad. It didn't even feel like you. And,
Especially because we grew up, riding dirt bikes all around our property and really having a fun time with our dad. Like growing up, as Danny said earlier, we never saw him as disabled.
even though he was in pain and he did
Yeah.
to have issues, he didn't show it at all.
It wouldn't stop us from getting on that dirt bike and doing wheelies and get on the front, go faster, faster. And just,
Yeah, it's super awesome to see, people, not just now, but our entire lives, because a lot of the times practice out of our home. And so we'd have people, especially like autistic children and stuff, come in and just have all these social issues that they really couldn't function. And then to do the neurofeedback and just all the stuff on them while they were like our age. So like we hung out, and it was just super cool to kind of see that. And, going back a little bit, you were saying how on that day of the car crash, you would repeat the mantra to yourself, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. And I haven't really thought about it, but you definitely said that through our entire childhood. And I don't know about you, Delana, but for me, up until middle school, I never looked at my dad as being disabled or anything like that. It was very much you worked hard, you didn't complain. It truly was, suffering was optional for you. And it wasn't until you got on the pain meds that it no longer became optional, and it was suffering all the time. I don't know if that was just because the pain built up over all the years to where it just got so bad, or if it was maybe something mental with the pain meds that kind of, because a little funny story that I tell is like you gave the birds and the bees talk to me twice because it was the time that you were on pain meds, and I remember you took me to this to the restaurant, and you kind of explained it to me. And then the next week you took me to the same exact restaurant, and I was like, what's going on? And then you gave me the talk like you've never given it to me, and I had to sit there and be like, wait, he legitimately doesn't know that he just told me this. And I just had to pretend like, really, that's how it works. Very cool. But
That's funny.
yeah,
I
but
don't even remember doing that, but
obviously,
it's what I feared the most. Whenever you're taking a medication, there's a time and a place for it, and believe me, when I was on it, I couldn't imagine not having it anymore. I would have been suicidal because the pain was just so great. But I knew that as soon as you start masking it, you're playing with fire, because it's like taking a piece of duct tape and putting it over the engine warning light in your car because it's so annoying and how it's bright and bothers you when you're trying to drive. It's distracting. Rather than fixing the problem, are you putting tape over it? Are you reaching under the dash and ripping the wires out of the wire, so out of the light, so it doesn't keep bothering you? And I knew that it wasn't the solution to fix things. All the problem was still going to be going on. I just wasn't going to feel it. So most likely I'd probably do something that would injure myself more because I'm numb to it and I don't feel it. So I really guarded against having to go that route for almost 15 years before I just finally had to throw the towel in. And it's once I started doing the surgeries and such that I had to let them just medicate me and play that game, because clearly what I was doing wasn't working enough to the point that I just couldn't get out of pain at the time.